You're listening to WGAB The Gabcast by the Gabber newspaper, your source of news for Gulfport, St. Pete, and the beaches.
Good afternoon. Welcome to WGAB, The Gabcast. First, I need you to realize that despite the world being full of crime and torture, dementia, trauma, God damn, you're just pretty. You look great today. I gotta tell you that. That's awesome. Now, one of the problems we currently have with the Gulfport Casino is that it is a historically designated building. And because of that, the bureaucratic process is roughly equivalent of trying to put a snail through the eye of a needle. Sure, it'll happen. No one's going to enjoy the process. However, the process is ongoing. Other than that, the Gabcast would like to remind you that it's hot out there. Drink water.
Hello, welcome back to the newsroom. This week we're going to take a look at the inside of the newly remodeled Beach Theater with the owner Hannah Hochman. It looks beautiful in there. It's blue, it's gold, it's Art Deco. I can't wait to show you. But first we should go over the answers to a couple questions we've been getting. Gulfport's iconic waterfront district still shows the scarring of last year's storm season. And a lot of people are wondering when these things will be coming back up. So I have some information for you. Gulfport's Casino, its crown jewel, its iconic building is still closed even almost a year after Hurricane Helene. The problem with the casino is because of its historic original hardwood floors, it's designated historic building. And so there's a lot of other processes that the city needs to go through in order to restore it and keep the historical designation. They had an option to rebuild it quickly and lose the historical designation, but they didn't want to do that in order to keep Gulfport's history and Gulfport's iconic building what it always was. So that's going to take a little bit more time. You can read more about that in the Gabber. Williams Pier will be opening very, very soon, only for daylight hours, because the electrical that does the lights on the pier is going to be part of a different project, part of the 34th Street intersection project. That's the street out in front of O'Matty's that is also going to be redone. That project is designed, but it hasn't gone to bid yet. So that one's coming soon. However, I talked to Tom Nichols. He is the public works director at Gulfport, and he thinks that the pier should be opening as soon as July 11th. So that should be coming soon. We should have access to the pier during the day very, very soon. Once the 54th Street project is done, the electrical can come and then the lights will come on, and then it will be open after sundown when the lights can come on. So that's the information I have for you. Let's shoot over to the Beach Theater, where Hannah Hochman, the owner, is getting ready for her grand opening this weekend. It looks beautiful inside. I got to go take a look. I'm going to bring you guys along with me. Let's go check it out.
Hello. My name is Hannah Hochman, and I'm the owner of the Beach Theater. And I'm going to give you a little tour around, show you the renovations. So we're in our lobby. This is a little different than how it used to look when it was previously opened back in 2012. We've totally expanded the space, leveled out the floor, and wanted to create just like a nice welcoming atmosphere for people to hang out in before the actual event starts in the theater. Over here is our concession stand. We are setting up for our big launch party this week. So we have lots of cases everywhere of different candies we've been trying out. This is our soda machines here. We have Pepsi products. My favorite candy is the snow caps, and you can tell because they're almost gone. That is one of the dangers of working in a movie theater is popcorn and candy has been my dinner pretty much every night for the last couple weeks. But we're working on finding some protein. So these countertops here, these are recycled sea glass countertops. So keeping with the beachy vibes for sure. Over here is our little mini cabaret venue. So this is a secondary performance space that we can utilize whenever there's not something happening in the big theater. We can just rent this out for smaller events, or we can use it as a secondary venue to support whatever is going on in the big theater. So we can have a piano over here to welcome some people in as they're going to the movies or going to the shows. So yeah, it's our little mini performance space. This wallpaper was a little difficult to find. It was something that we had researched well over a year and a half ago now, and it kind of became the touchstone for the whole theater. Unfortunately, the renovation process ended up taking a little bit longer than we thought. So when it actually came time to buy the wallpaper, it was discontinued. So yeah, it took a while to track down, but we ended up scraping up enough rolls of it from secondary shops, and we finally found enough of it. Come on into the theater here. I was just testing out some lighting for our performance for our grand opening. We have 175 brand new seats. These seats were custom made for the space. We learned pretty early on in this process that if you want theater seats that are not leather, reclining, or red, it's quite a difficult thing to find. So we ended up getting all of these custom made just for the theater. So for our grand opening, we are going to have a mix of live performances and a screening of the documentary, A New Wave, which is about the revival of the theater and the renovation process we've gone through. So if you come to our grand opening, you'll kind of see a touch of everything that we're doing here, and you'll get to see the space transform from live theater to a cinema. That's really what we want to be known for, is a theater that can accommodate multiple different types of theater, right? So not just a cinema, not just a musical theater house, something that can do a little bit of everything. So I've always been a theater kid. I've always wanted to work in theater, whether that be directing, producing. I'd always hoped one day I could own my own theater. I never thought it would happen so early in my life, but when the opportunity came up, I was just really excited to jump on it. I first heard about the Beach Theater in 2017 when I was over at Eckerd College. They took us over to the Gulf Beaches Historic Museum for our first term called Autumn Term, where they just introduced the freshmen to the area. And that's when I first heard about the Beach Theater. And I was so excited to hear about it. But unfortunately, the next words out of the museum curator's mouth was, "I'm not sure if they've torn it down yet." So that kind of set me on a rabbit hole of like, what did that mean? Why are they tearing it down? What's going on with it? And I've just kind of been really invested in this project ever since I first heard about it, researching it and trying to figure out how I can help be a part of the reopening. I did not think I would own it at that point, but I just always knew I wanted to be a part of that process. We started with a building that looked absolutely nothing like this. When we first bought the building, we like to say that we bought 4 walls and a roof. We quickly learned that we didn't even buy that. We had to redo the roof. We had to redo the foundation. Everything in here is totally new, from the plumbing, mechanical, electrical, and the only thing that stayed the same was the exterior. It is a historically designated building, so we kept the exterior. We wanted to keep it anyway, but we just wanted to refresh it. So new paint, new stucco, added the marquees back on the signs, and yeah, other than that, I mean, we started with nothing in here, so it's all completely new. Our grand opening is July 18th through the 21st, but the 18th is already sold out. So you can buy tickets for the 19th through the 21st at thebeachtheater.org. Make sure it looks somewhat clean. Okay, you can come on it. This has been my home up here for the past several weeks. I'm actually processing the DCP for the documentary right now. So that is what converts the file to make it run through the projector and all the things. So, all right, so this is top of show. And we have our first cue here for entrances. This is our first solo, second solo, and this is the finale of the first number. Then we have speeches. So this is actually my lighting. Oh yeah, not bad. So this is dressing room 1. And we can fit about 3 or 4 actors back here.
All right, folks, thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of WGAB The Gabcast. The video and audio for this week's episode was recorded by Ethan, our news and politics reporter, edited by me, Nicole, the producer of The Gabcast, and the music you heard throughout this episode was made by Cyberwave Orchestra. Be sure to drink water and pop by the Beach Theater's grand opening this weekend. Stay cool, and we'll see you next time.